Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with a tag video, which is something that I haven't done for quite a while, but this one is eyeshadow focused, which is why I want to do this. And this video itself, which is I can never say this word, but it's superlative, right? Superlative eyeshadow tag, so single eyeshadow tag, and this was created by Hot Vegan Hannah and Kathryn B Beauty. I will have both of them linked down below. I first saw it on Hannah's channel, but I follow both of them, and I recommend you do the same if you like indie eyeshadows, if you like single eyeshadows, because they have really good content on those things. So basically this video is a couple of different prompts or superlatives that you're gonna pair with a single eyeshadow, and for each one I have created a list, so I'm gonna go through and talk through them. There are 11 different prompts, and it will be like superlatives that you have in high school. We don't really have them. I don't know about UK. I don't think you do have them in the UK. I'm from Sweden. We don't have anything really like this in Sweden, but it's like the most likely to, I don't know, most likely to get married young, whatever, something like that. But I do have the list of things, like the different superlatives that they came up with, and I'm gonna go through each of them and share with you what I decided to go with. But before I jump into the eyeshadows themselves, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So I have put all of the eyeshadows in this Sydney Grace palette right here, and it is the eyeshadows here on the top. Even ignore these two big pans here, they are just something that I'm storing in this palette, but here we have all of the different eyeshadows. So I'm gonna go through them in order, and for the first one we have the most likely to become president. And for this one I wanted to pick something that is very kind of impactful, very I don't know, very kind of sophisticated, but still, like, you know, stands on its own. I wanted to pick something that would be suited to a lot of people, so nothing that was too warm toned, nothing that was too cool toned, nothing that was like too sparkly per se, or like too shifty, because I know that it's not everyone's deal. But on the opposite, I didn't want something that was too satiny either, because a lot of people don't like those kind of shades. Also, sorry, I forgot to say earlier, but all of the shadows that I picked have been shimmers, because that's what I find more exciting, apart from one, but that is because it's paired with shimmers. So yeah, I have decided to just go with shimmers because that is the most exciting part of my single collection. So yeah, that is what I'm going with. But for most likely to become president, I decided to go with Terra Moon's Palladium. So this is a super high impact eyeshadow. These eyeshadows are super metallic. They do have a little bit of sparkle to them, but they're most show up as like just wet liquid, like liquid gold almost, or like this one is more kind of coppery rose gold. You can see it right there. You can see how impactful this shade is, and why I thought this one would be good, because it is more of a neutral shade, which I think will be more catered to a lot of people, but at the same time it's not too, like, for people who are maybe into more exciting eyeshadows, more kind of colorful even, this one isn't super kind of boring. It still has a lot of, you know, it has a lot to give still, so I thought this one would be a good shout. And yeah, I decided to go with this one for most likely to become president, because I feel like a lot of people would really like this eyeshadow, and you know, in order to become president you have to have a lot of people vote for you, and that's why I decided to go with this one. So that is Terra Moon's Palladium. So the second superlative is most likely to become famous, and for this one I wanted something that right now I haven't heard too many people speak about, but I feel like it is a shadow that could become really popular with a lot of people if it just, you know, if people heard about it more and if it just started becoming out there. So I didn't want to pick something that was already really well known, and the shadow that I decided to go with is actually the shimmer that I'm wearing on my eyes today. It looks very different depending on what you pair it with, but this is the shade Spectrum from the Pastel Roses, which looks like this. I do think this is very similar to a few other kind of indie eyeshadows. I think there's a shade from Shine by SD called Unexpected or Unexplainable or something like that, that I think is very similar to this. But this one is like, it's almost like a rainbow in a shadow. So it has like a really hot pink base, as you can see. Then it has like a gold shift, which is like what you're seeing I think on camera, but I can also see a blue shift, like if I do this, like a blue purple shift, and I can also see like a green shift in certain lightings, and it's just basically like a rainbow in a shadow, and it's so stunning. Like, I'm swatching it and I can literally see the whole rainbow on my hand, and the name is really suitable for it, because it's the whole spectrum of the rainbow. yeah, so yeah, I can see like obviously the pink, and then I can see like the yellow gold, the orange, the green, the blue, and the purple. So most of the rainbow right there, not really maybe a red, but apart from that, most of them are covered. So I feel like this is a really, really good one, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm mesmerized by the shadow every time I wear it, and I paired it today with some pinks. Yeah, you can see them right there. But I just feel like this one is one that will be, again, suitable to a lot of people because it's colorful, but it can still come off as more neutral. It's super shifty, which I think would make a lot of people interested in it. It's also quite unique. I don't have anything else like it in my collection. Again, I think there are some other shades like this in similar shadows, but for me it is very unique, especially because this is a very, very shifting version of this eyeshadow. I think a lot of people have maybe a pink to a gold shifting eyeshadow as it is, but this one has so much more to it, and I think this one would be one that would go down really, really well in the beauty community if it just got some more love. The next eyeshadow, or the next superlative, is everyone's BFF. So for this I wanted to pick something that you know, people, like, everyone loves this eyeshadow. I think this would be something that everyone would get on with, something that people can, like, you know, wear every single day, something that neutral tone lovers would love, something that more colorful people would love, and something that would just go with a lot of different looks. And for that I decided to go with the shade Bloodline from Cleona. So this one is a really, really stunning shade. It has like a really kind of deep maroony kind of base, maybe you can see it a little bit there. Then it has like a lot of shift to it. It's like it has like a gold shift, a green shift, and a blue shift. You can see it there on my finger. So this eyeshadow is almost like a toned down version of Spectrum. It does have like a similar shift, but it's not as intense. The base is also more kind of neutral and more maroony, as you can tell, and it's not quite as shifty, but it has similar shifts to it. But I feel like this one is one that a lot of people would love. I personally love wearing this. I feel like this is something that neutral toned lovers can absolutely 100% wear every single day, because it does have like more of a neutral kind of base to it, but it still has that kind of colorful shift to it, although it is subtle. So I think this is one that a lot of people would really love, and I know a lot of people love this eyeshadow. You can see mine, it has a big dip in it as well. I absolutely love this eyeshadow, and that is why I chose it for everyone's BFF. So for the next prompt we have best eyes, and for this I wanted to show another like eyeshadow that I feel like would enhance everyone's eyes. I feel like it's something that can bring a lot of light into someone's eyes, like something that kind of gives some tension to them, and is very kind of brightening. So I decided to go with an iridescent shade, and I'm actually wearing this one too on my inner corners today, so you can see what it looks like. And this one is Luxe, again from Cleona. You're gonna see it there, it's only gonna look white, so let me swatch it out for you so you can better see it. On my finger there you can see how intense that is. That's such an intense shadow. It's super reflective, super impactful, and I absolutely love this one. There you can see it right there. It has like a gold shift to it, but it's like a goldy green, and then it goes into a blue, a purple, it has some pinkness to it, and it's absolutely stunning. But you can see how like bright and impactful that is, and I feel like this is one that a lot of people could wear. I think it would work with light skin tones or deeper skin tones. I mean, you can see this is the residue on my fingers, see how bright that is, and that is why I picked it for best eyes, because I feel like it would just bring so much brightness to someone's eyes. It's also an iridescent shade, so you could top it on top of other kind of matte shadows or deeper shadows to make it more of a deeper kind of base, or you can wear it as an corner highlight, or just all over your lid if you want, as an iridescent shade. And I feel like that would be an absolutely beautiful one for the superlative best eyes. So the next one was one that I found quite hard to pick something for, and that is most likely to be interrupted by Kanye West at the VMAs. If you remember, Taylor Swift got interrupted by Kanye West at the VMAs, and for like obviously the prompt needs to be inspired by that, so I was umming what to pick for that. I couldn't really decide like what kind of eyeshadow I wanted for that, but I ultimately wanted to go for something that is very like split opinion. Some people love them, some people hate them, because like I feel like obviously in that situation Kanye West did not think Taylor Swift deserved to win, but she did, and she had a big fan base. But obviously people like Kanye West did not agree at all. I thought that it was way better people out there, aka Beyonce, and I decided to go with an eyeshadow that I feel like a lot of people are very split on. Some people love these type of eyeshadows, some people feel like there's definitely the better like multi-chromes, for example, out there. So I decided to go with a black based multi-chrome, and the one specifically I decided to go with is the shade Kiln right here. This one is from Cleona, and I decided to go with this one because, again, a lot of people love the deep based multi-chrome because they are so shifty, but me personally and a lot of people, they feel like these are too deep of a base, they're not easy to wear. And yeah, I definitely agree with that, but I do see this beauty in the kind of jeweled multi-chromes or the kind of black based multi-chromes, but you can see it right there. I'm not sure how much you can see the shift. I might try to get like my second light in a second to show you the shifts of all of these, but you can see just how deep this base is. I specifically picked Kiln because Kiln has a very deep base. I mean, you can compare it to the other eyeshadows that I swatched, that this is super deep. It is very reflective though. It has a super strong shift. It goes from like a red to like a kind of golden-y green kind of shade. It's very distinct, and it is a beautiful eyeshadow, and I definitely see the place of these eyeshadows. I love having them in my collection, but I barely ever reach for them, so I wanted to pick something like that for the category or for the superlative, most likely to be interrupted by Kanye West at the VMAs. For the next category, we have best couple, and this is where a matte comes in because I decided to go with a shimmer and a matte together as a couple. And this is like something that I wanted to pick that could be a beautiful two eyeshadow look kind of look, you know, just the matte and just the shimmer. And what I decided to pick was, I just had to pick this because I wore this combination on video a couple weeks ago, and so many people commented on it saying, oh my god, what are you wearing? I love your eye look, it's like one of your best eye looks. And I was basically wearing a few more shades, but ultimately it was almost just these two eyeshadows, and these are Shire from Terra Moons, which looks like this. This is the matte, and in the video I was wearing Dragonfly by the Pastel Roses, which is this eyeshadow here. This is like a green base, similar green base to the matte, but with a really strong pink shift, and it also has like a green shift, and it's super nice and very impactful. However, I did also want to pick up another eyeshadow, which is basically a dupe for the Dragonfly shade. It's just a bit more kind of sparkly, a bit more chunky. It's also from Terra Moons, and that is the shade Ganymede. I think a lot of people have this eyeshadow, that's why I wanted to include it, but it's ultimately almost the same. This one has slightly more of a kind of bluish green base, but it's not much of a difference, and they are very similar. So let me swatch them out to show you. So there you have those swatches. You have Shire, and then you have Dragonfly and Ganymede. Hopefully you can see that Ganymede has like almost like a more bluish green shift at the end. I feel like that's slightly more shifty, but they are very similar. Dragonfly is slightly more warm toned. Ganymede is, like I said, more kind of cool toned, but they are ultimately almost the same. Yeah, so I wanted to show both of those in case you have Ganymede but not the Pastel Roses shade, or vice versa if you have Dragonfly but not Ganymede. So those are the next pairing, I guess, trio, but Dragonfly and Ganymede are interchangeable. So yeah, that is my choices for best couple. Next up we have the Prom Class Clown, and I wanted to go for something that is very bright, very colorful, very shifty, very out there, like super out there. Like Angie says, you know, she's happy clown, like something that is very colorful. When she loves colorful eyeshadows, you know, she calls herself a clown sometimes, and that's kind of the inspiration I got. I mean, that's kind of what I initially thought of as well when I thought Class Clown. I just wanted something that was very colorful, very out there, very fun, very kind of exciting, very, you know, just made me happy. And I decided to go with the shade Shadow Dreamscape from the Pastel Roses, which looks like this. So you can see the blue there and the pink shift, hopefully. You can see the blue is a very bright blue, and then the pink there. But also, if I look at it in the camera, it has like a really strong green shift as well. And it has like super kind of bright shifts as well as a bright base. So that's kind of why I decided to go with this eyeshadow, because I think it's just like the perfect one for Class Clown, because it's just so out there, so fun. And yeah, I just thought this would be a perfect eyeshadow. So there you have that eyeshadow there. So you can see the bright kind of color shift, and yeah, the bright blue base and the bright pink. But again, it has like a really strong green shift as well. So I'm running out of space on this arm, so I'm thinking if I should move out with this arm. I have 4 more shadows to swatch, so I might just do that for simplicity's sake. But next up we have Life of the Party, and I wanted to choose something that was like a very kind of party look, an eyeshadow that is like would stand out as like the perfect kind of party eyeshadow. And what I decided to go with was the shade Dark Side from Terra Moons, which is a sparkly black. It is so impactful. Like a lot of times sparkly blacks, they look sparkly in the pan, but as soon as you swatch them out, the sparkles go away, or they're not like very visible. They almost turns out to like a matte black with slight sparkles in it, but this one is a proper sparkly black. That is it right there. I don't know how much you can see the sparkles if it just looks like a shine to you, but it has so many beautiful sparkles to it. It is a bit chunky, which you might be able to tell up here. It's not like completely opaque, but I feel like that's kind of what you need in an eyeshadow like this. And it's so beautiful. Like if you want a sparkly black, like a black smoky eye to go out partying, this is the perfect eyeshadow for that, and that is why I decided to go with this. And you can see it's actually just beautiful. I love eyeshadow so much, but that is this eyeshadow there. And yeah, I think this is the ultimate life of the party kind of eyeshadow. If you want to go for like a full-on party look, want to be like stand out there, get loads of compliments on your smoky eye, this is eyeshadow to go for. So that's why I decided to go with this one. So for the next superlative, we have most opinionated, and I wanted to go with something that was super shifty, like very, you know, again had a lot of shifts in it. So obviously something that's opinionated, like you can't decide if it's green, blue, what else is in here, pink, fuchsia, gold, I think even. So that's kind of what I decided to go with. Also, I did kind of tie in something similar to the Kanye West prompt, and this is also a dual multi-chrome from Cleona. It's also one of the black based multi-chromes, because those are also opinionated in the sense of a lot of people like them, some people don't. So the shade I decided to go with was Oculus from Cleona. You can see a really bright teal there. Like when I look at it, it looks more muted, and then it turns into like a fuchsia and then a gold, or like a orange kind of shift. But hopefully you can, I don't know if you can pick up any of the shifts there, but you can see a really bright like tealy green. But this one is just so shifty, like it's insane. I don't know if you can see more if I hold it on my finger up, but I will again try to get my light out so you can see it later. But I feel like this is the perfect, again, for most opinionated, because you just really can't decide if it's going to be green, blue, fuchsia, or like what. But that is the shadow right there. So the next one I actually realized should have been before most opinionated, but it doesn't matter, I can do them in this order, I guess. But this one is most likely to start a YouTube channel, and I decided to go with something that a lot of people on YouTube love. Like this eyeshadow is so like such a cult classic. A lot of people rave about this, saying it's one of the best eyeshadows ever. But on top of that, there's also been a lot of drama around this brand recently, which I find ties in with like good with YouTube, because there's a lot of drama on YouTube, a lot of drama channels, a lot of people love the drama. I'm not one of them, but I do see the, you know, I feel like someone with drama would become more famous on YouTube, for example. So I decided to go with this eyeshadow, both for the shade itself, but also for the drama around it, or around the brand. So the shadow that I decided to go with was JD Glow Unexpected, and it is such an amazing eyeshadow. Again, there is drama around the brand, but that doesn't take away from the eyeshadow itself, and it's such a beautiful one. It's so sparkly, it's so like, it's such a unique kind of neutral shade. It has like a sandy base right there. You can see like a sandy to gold shade, I think. When I look at it, I can see more of a green to like a taupey purple shade, and it's such a unique one. I love this eyeshadow, but again, there's some drama around the brand, but I think that would actually tie in really well with the YouTube part of this superlative. So that is the one I decided to go with for most likely to start a YouTube channel. Then we have come to the last eyeshadow and the last superlative, which is most likely to live alone with 10 cats. And I decided to go with more of a subtle eyeshadow, because I feel like if you live like at home alone, like if you live alone with 10 cats, you might not be super into, like, I don't know, this is just like a stereotype, I guess. I feel like you're not super into makeup. You might want something more low-key. You love your cats, that they're your whole world. You're not bothered to do like lots of fancy, like super colorful makeup. You just want something simple but still pretty, something like that makes you look really nice. So I decided to go with this eyeshadow right here, which is Tiara from Sydney Grace. Sydney Grace have beautiful shimmer eyeshadows, but they are less impactful than some of the other ones that I showed you today. But you can see there on my finger, this is a beautiful eyeshadow still. I feel like the taupiness also ties in with the whole living alone with 10 cats, because I feel like, I don't know, it just makes me think of like cats, like the kind of cool tone grey, like a tabby or like a grey cat. I don't know, it just makes me think of that. And I feel like a cool toned kind of taupey shade like this is more versatile. A lot of people love them, like cool tone lovers love them. I feel like even warm tone to neutral type of people will love this eyeshadow, and it is super nice. It's so shiny and metallic, but it's not too over the top like some of the other eyeshadows that I've shown you earlier. And I feel like this is the perfect like living alone with your 10 cats kind of eyeshadow. It's something that you can throw on all over the lid. It's not too metallic that you can't like blend it out in the crease and have it as a one eyeshadow look, but you can also pair it with other kind of eyeshadows if you want to, like with mattes and stuff, you want to make it a bit more smoky if you want to go out. So that's why I picked this one. So those are the eyeshadows that I picked. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get my light out and show you any of the shifts, and that will be it for today. Let's see if this will show any of the shifts a bit better. I think maybe a little bit there. You can see some of the shifts a bit better. Not the best flattering light, but I think you can pick up some of the shifts there. So those are the first set of swatches. Then for my second hand, we have these right here. So I don't know if you can see any of the shifts. I think maybe you can see like Oculus there, like how it shifts to that yeah, kind of, I don't know, fuchsia to orange. I can also see like a really bright purple now looking at it when the ring light is on it, or like the light is on it from that angle. And then you can see like maybe unexpected going into that super kind of taupey purple shade. But those are the swatches right there. So those were my picks for the Superlative eyeshadow tag. I will actually be doing this with palettes as well, and that will be going up with my next video. But again, please make sure to check out Hannah and Kathryn, which will both be linked down below. I love both their channels, and if you like my content and this kind of single eyeshadow content, I'm sure you will love them too. So that's it for today. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye guys!